Oakapi gang? We are out here on Elestrals launch day on Kickstarter, and they have already passed $100,000 in the first day, so we are making money today. We're going to be talking about what you should be buying if you are trying to play this game, specifically at a casual level here at Oakapi gang. We are not for investors, but we'll also touch on if you just want to collect the games, open them up, and then have them in a binder for the sheer satisfaction of beautiful cardboard. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about is if you are a single player, you do not know who you're going to be playing with, but you do want to just casually play the game. You're not looking for the tournament scene, but you want to get in on the game. My recommendation for you will be to buy 2 starter decks and 1 booster box. You will need at least 1 starter deck if you plan on playing the game of Elestrals and you're buying less than like a case, because in Elestrals, you have a spirit deck and a normal deck. Your spirit deck restricts what cards you can play from your normal deck. So you have to have the correct spirits for your spirit deck. Now, you might open up a booster box and open up the ones you need, but you might not. If you open up 2 or 3 boxes, you probably do have enough spirits to build relatively whatever deck you wanted to build. But why risk it if you only get a box or 2? Like, what if you want to play water and you only open like 5 water spirits from the deck? Then you can't play it. So you might as well have just bought the deck. If you are a single player and you don't know who you're playing with, you need that second deck too, so that you can have that deck on hand to teach other people how to play the game. You can teach your dad, you can teach your grandma, you can teach your partner. You could go find some random guy on the street and teach him how to play Elestrals. Elestrals is a game for the streets. Now, today we're going to be talking about, if you do know who you're going to play. I think it should change a little bit. Now, first off, I think that booster boxes for the Kickstarter release are going to be stacked. I think they're going to be the thing that you want. I think Stellars and Full Arts are going to be the poppinest thing in financially, and they're going to be the coolest thing to hold in your hand. Imagine holding a Stellar Imperiex. That's going to be so cool. So I think booster boxes should be how you go. But also, game accessibility. A booster box is $100, so that is money. You can't just get a bunch of those. I'm getting 2, and that's pushing it for me. But so if you playing with 2 people and you're trying to play on a casual level, my recommendation baseline would be you get a starter deck, they get a starter deck, and then you split a box. Now, say you go in with your friends, say I'm playing water and earth. So if I went in water, earth, and I found a friend and they were okay with going summer winds, then we split the box. I get the water earth cards, they get the fire and wind cards. We both win out, and we have the deck that we can play. So I really think that 2 decks, 1 box, if you already know who you're playing with. Now, for collectors, I think you should just go for as many boxes as you can get. The boxes you get now are going to be more valuable than boxes that will be released in any later waves, because the stellar rate is going to be higher. As for the add-ons, I'm going to vote up for the playmat. It's going to be easier for new players to learn how to play the game. It's similar to a Yu-Gi-Oh playmat, but it's not the same. And a lot of people don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. You have people that play Magic that might be interested. You have people that play Pokemon that might be interested. You might have people that have never played a TCG that might be interested, and they don't know where they're supposed to put their cards. And that's going to be really helpful for those people to have that playmat. So I'm voting up on the playmat. Personally, I'm not getting a playmat because I like the blue and pink one that they've had in the videos. I would rather have that playmat than the Circle of the Sky playmat, even though the Circle of the Sky does look cool, and it's one of my favorite cards because I love Nexusing. I'm going to vote mid for plushies. I think I'm getting the Nimbug plushie personally. I like plushies. But, it's just a plushie. It's going to sit there. If you don't like it, you don't got to get it. But the Nimbug plushie, I'll say specifically, is special because that was the first card. And this is the first plushie. I like that symmetry. Every time I look at that plushie, I'm going to remember the Kickstarter of Elestrals. I'm going to vote down on the card sleeves. Now, first off, I'll say that they are smart that they give you a different sleeve for your main deck and your spirit deck, because you're required to have different sleeves for your main deck and your spirit deck. The problem with sleeves, though, is sleeve quality is highly variable depending on what companies make it, how they made them, whatever. And honestly, I just don't want to spend extra money and then get sleeves that are pretty and then not know if they're going to break or not. Maybe people get them and then they don't break, and then I might look at getting some more. But I don't want to. I don't want to get it and then it not work out. My expectation for the future of Elestrals is I think that there will be a moderate competitive scene. I think that there will be people that will be playing this game. If you're looking for the competitive scene, maybe just a case. Maybe just get a case and then trade for singles. You're going to want a playset of all the good cards. The starter decks tend to be focused. I mean, there's a lot of space dedicated to Ascensions, which, you don't really use much of in competitive. But moving forward, I think that the competitive scene will be pretty decent. But I think it'll be like these other, smaller games that are making it, like the ones that are making money but aren't all over the place. You might have to drive an hour to go find an event. That would be my expectation, seeing the numbers that we got so far. You might have to drive an hour. If I wanted to play it, I would expect I would be able to drive an hour and then play the game in person. If you live in a bigger city, you might be able to get away with just driving 30 minutes to your local game store. There are a lot of game stores that play the smaller games. I think this will be one of the smaller games that the stores that play a lot of games will play. I think that the game's going to be very successful. I think they're going to smash all their goals. Dan's going to have to make up some more goals. Come on, Dan. Come on, Dan. I'm super excited, both for the team. I think they've been doing a great job. I think they are really listening to the community. I think the community is what's going to make this thrive. I think the fact that it like other card games are struggling right now because they're going for profit. They're having to make tough decisions. You got some going in NFTs. You got some increasing their production to the point to where it's hard to keep track of. And this is a game where you have a good community. There's not many toxic people, and when somebody toxic does show up, we as a community work with them respectfully, but also defend people that are targeted. We make sure that everybody's welcome in the Elestrals community, except for the Oakapi gang. Oakapi gang, I don't really support investors, bro. But I think it's gonna be a really successful game. I think I think it's gonna be really fun. I was trying to work on a tile set for an RPG Maker game. So people looking at RPG Maker games hit me up. I was talking about, I put in the Discord that I thought about trying to get 100 people together to buy our Kickstarter together so you get Oakapi to be an official card. The problem with that is you only get 60 boxes at the $10,000 level. So if 100 people gave $100, then you only have 60 boxes to pass out. So I mean, that's not possible how I was thinking it was possible. But we're gonna hustle. We're gonna make Oakapi happen. Oakapi gang, rise up.